Yeah, good morning everyone. Welcome to Purja session. So we are in OOPS concept and already we have concept completed OOPS concept. There are few some extra topic like static member, non-static member. So we have completed static members yesterday. We have seen with program with example. The members are static main method, static block, user defined method, static variable. These are the four members in static. Now let's start with today's topic, local variable. You know this variable, but we need to understand why some variable are local, while some variable are global. Okay. Now try to observe what is local. So local variable inside any block or method. Inside inside any block or methods are called local variables are called local variables are called local variables. So for example, okay, for example, let me have any class, right? Okay, this is existing class, right? So I can take any method, right? This is static method, right? Can I take any variable? So this is main method, this is main method. Let me take some variable. I am taking int x, right? So what is this? Int x is there, right? So this variable is called local variable because this is inside where method. If I am keeping this variable int here, right? See, there is no error, na? Duplicate error is there? No, na? Because this variable is belonging to class level, complete class level. We can use this. And this variable is inside where main method, right? So this we have to understand. Any variable inside any block, this is block, this is block, this is block. So inside any block, any variable you are taking, then it is called local variable. Till now you are good, right? Local variable and this global variable. For example, if I am taking any variable here int x again, right? Where duplicate error, na? But here it is related to method level. The the life of this int x at line number 10 is till this, from this line to this line. But what is the life of this variable? Complete throughout the life cycle of the class, right? Object creation till object destruction. Hope you are good, right? Okay. Now, now try to observe JVM architecture. This is basic JVM architecture I am telling you. In the end, I will explain in more detail. Okay. So in JVM architecture, we have, let's say, three areas. One is method area. One is method area. Then another area is heap area. Okay. And another is Java stack area. There is register area also there, but at this moment I am telling only these three area. Okay. Java stack area. Now try to observe. These are the areas in JVM architecture. Now, okay. Now, now. So every Java application run by whom? JVM, right? So JVM is having many areas, mainly three areas to run the Java application. Every application will process in main memory called RAM, right? So as soon as the application has invoked, right, process processor allocate memory to JVM inside RAM. We have RAM, right? So minimum to run a Java application, minimum how much RAM is required? 4 GB. If you have less than 4 GB, nowadays everyone is having more than 8 GB, but minimum 4 GB is required. Below 4 GB, you even cannot install Java. Okay? So as soon as application has invoked, means we run the application, what happen? Memory allocated to JVM inside the RAM. Okay? And once application is run completely, then memory will be destroyed. Now, what is this method area? Method area, whatever Java application, whatever the class files, ठीक है, class file, Java class file, ठीक है, is available in method area, ठीक है. This class file will be uh, required to run the application and which is loaded into method area. Apart from that, all the static variable, static data available in method area. Static data is available in where? Method area. Now, the next is heap area. All things related to object creation, you can call object creation, okay? Object creation, or you can say non-static data get memory inside heap area, okay? And what about stack area? All the blocks and method, all the blocks and method, in short, one liner, blocks and method, get the block block and methods get this Java stack area. Okay? Apart from that, local variable also get memory inside this block area. We can, because local variable are part of what? Local variable are part of blocks and method. Na? So local variables also get this utilization of Java stack area. Hope we are good, right? So now the thing is that the area is different area, right? Static data is stored in method area. Non-static member, whatever I explain you in this, these are static data. Na? The static data is going to store where? Method area. And whenever the program like this, if this is intex, right? This is method, static method. Sorry, any methods and block, right? These are blocks, right? So where they are going to store the data? Where they are going to store the data? They are going to store the data in blocks and method in Java stack area. And object creation related to a test equal to new test, then index equal to 10. This kind of data will be stored in heap area. This is very simple basic diagram. We will see in more detail later part. Okay? Now, now, instance, similarly instance member, instance member, instance member, instance member. Instance member or non-static members. You know this, but I want to just highlight those members. Non-static block, non-static block, non-static block. ठीक है? Non-static variables, non-static variables. ठीक है? Non-static method, non-static method. We have seen this, you know this, variables, non-static method and constructor. We have seen constructor also, right? So you know the constructor. Now, only thing is non-static block. So whenever object creation is required for this, okay, now try to observe. You will see one by one. So now just simple question. These are static member, right? You know static member. How we can call static method? How can I call static block? How I can static method variable using class name? We have seen this in program, right? This is M1. M1 is the method. What is the method? M1. Did I start the recording? Yeah. I have static method. So how I am calling this M1? Test.m1. Class name dot method name. So static member, how we can call? Class dot class using class name. But how we can we access non-static member in the application? Using object reference. For example, I am having one method. This is static method, right? Now, can I create one method? You know, already we have seen so many examples. This is, let me give some name M4. I am giving method 4, right? This method I am giving M4, right? No. Public, public void M4. This is simple method, but this is what instance method, right? Now, try to observe, guys. System dot out dot println. System dot out dot println. ठीक है? Println. System dot out dot. What is this error? Oh, sorry, I did not give dot here, na. System dot out dot println. ठीक है? Now, instance method. Instance or non-static M4 method. M4 method. ठीक है? Simple, right? Nothing is there. Now, how I can call this method? Let me comment this. I don't interested in static mode now. Let me delete this also. Let me delete this also. Only one main method I need. Only one main method is needed for this program. So method. How to call this? Can I call like this? M4 like this. Try this. Public void M4. Error is there, right? Error came. Can I call this like this? Test dot M4. What is this? Error. See, cannot make a static reference to non-static because this is what static area. Inside static area, we cannot call like this. How to call this? We have to create object for this. Test t equal to new test. And then we can call using this object reference t like this. Can I call t dot x? We need to initialize this variable because we have seen this. What is this? Okay, this is this variable. Okay. What is the error here? ठीक है. Remove this, no problem. Close. So how to call this method? This is variable, right? This is instance method. How we are calling? Using this. Now this is static area. This is static area. Now try to observe here. Come here outside this. Test. We will try that also. M4. Error, right? We cannot call like this. See. One more thing, guys. I am creating one object like this, right? There is one more way to create object. Copy this. This is very, very important, guys. Defined as null. This is defined as null. And then we can use this way. Not like 1 minute. Test. No, not. In normal method, sorry. We can use this approach in normal method. 1 second. Why it is struct? For example, this is, I want to call this method. One more method I will copy and paste here. Let me give this name M5. I am giving M5. Okay. Now copy this, paste here. I am calling M4. Copy this, paste here. Now try to observe. Okay. So what is happening? We are declaring this class name here, and we are using the constructor. We are creating object here, right? So this is also one way. Okay. So we can call in this way as well, right? T dot M4, T dot M4, right? T dot M5, right? So for instance method, how to call? Only we have to create object also. We have to create object only, and we have to give the uh, object reference. Okay. Now, yeah. Apart from that, what we have to see? We have to see static block. Now try to observe instance block. Sorry. What is this, guys? Observe. What is this? This open close. This is called instance block. System, no name, right? No name, nothing is there. System dot out dot print ln. What is the inside? Inside non-static block. Try to observe. Previously, if I am using observe, guys, I observe print ln. Print ln. If I am using static keyword here, static keyword, how it is coming? Now try to observe output. Close this. Now run the output. Try to observe. Where is? Let me remove other part. Delete this also. Delete this also. Can I run this program now? What is coming, right? Inside this is running, right? Static. This block is running before main method, right? Before main method. Okay. This block is also run. This method is sorry. This is running right before main method. First line it is running means this is the output. Can I remove the static keyword? Now inside non-static, this should is it printing? Try to observe. 1 minute. Object is created now because that's why it is coming. Let me remove this. Let me comment this. Object creation is not there. Can I run this output? Terminated, right? No call is happening. Means this instance block is running. This method is running. No. Let me remove this method also. Focus on instance block only. Let me remove this static method also. Let me remove this line also. Focus on this static block only. Only static block is there. Let me copy this statement here. Place here inside main method. Inside main method. Inside main method. Run the program. Inside main method is running. When I am keeping static here, static. Which one is running first? You know, right? Inside. This is printing. Ignore this. But what is the block running? Static. So first static block ran, then main method ran. When I remove the static, now observe, run as Java application. If main method is running, do instance block is running? No. Let me create one object. Test. Just I am creating object. Test equal to new object. Nothing else I am doing. Just object creation is done. Can I run this program? What is running? Inside main method, this statement run. After that, what happened? Object creation is done. Oh, sorry. Test. Test. The class name is test. Remember, the class name is tests. That's why that is coming from some other part. No. Run as Java application. Inside main method, inside non-static block. So whenever object creation is done, then only this instance block is running. So you are understanding, right? Static block, non-static block, all the members, how they are working, right? So static members, what? What is mean difference between static and non-static? Static member belongs to class. What is the difference between static and non-static? Let's static member. What is static members? What is non-static member? What is the difference? Static member belong to class. Okay. Non-static member belongs to object. Okay. We can access static member. Can access using class name. Using class name. Using class name. Similarly, for non-static member can be accessed using object reference. Okay. This is the major two difference, right? Now, what are more differences? Static member, static variable initialized with default values. Static members initialize with default value at time of object creation. Non-static members initialize with default value at time of object creation. At time of object creation. So these are the points difference between this is the major difference between static member, okay, and non-static member. No need to remember each and every point, guys. Only practice makes you understand the statements, and then you can easily able to explain by your own. Okay. Somebody's calling what is final, what is abstract, right? What is synchronized, what is static member, what is instance block, what is static block. Do you think you will by heart everything and then you will answer? No, na. Only just run the program, watch the video, run the program, practice that program, then you will understand the output, what are you are typing and what output you are getting. In that way, you are able to understand. Okay. So guys, with this, we are closing what? OOPS concept. Right? All concepts are important, OOPS concept. Okay. Now we will start exception handling. Okay. One minute. Now we are starting exception handling. Exception handling. Because now if your program is failing, right? So that will stop your application now. So we have to handle the exception, right? That is why exceptional handling come into picture. Exception. First, what is exception? An unwanted event that disturb your flow of program, right? An unwanted event that disturb your flow of program. That is called exception. That is called exception. Right now. Exception handling means right. You are just taking care of that event. You are taking care of that particular event, so that you are doing some alternative, so that we are taking care of our program to avoid to avoid to avoid exceptions by using by using alternate ways. Simple. No logic, no English definition. You can explain your own terms also, right? Nothing is required, right? So now we need to understand what is the exception, how it is working, how we have to handle. Okay, now. Okay. So always remember there is an exception. Okay. No definition is there. Just you can explain your own, right? So what is exception? What are the cause of exception? The cases like exception exception are caused by our program, abnormal terminal of the code. That is called exception. What is error? Errors are not caused by our programmers. Okay? These are due to lack of, for example, you write some program, right? You write some program. What happened? Nested. Yesterday we have seen nested loop, right? A recursive call. When I run the program, the program was running. At certain time, its memory got full, right? Right. So what is the problem here? Memory full. For example, you are running some file system. Your code is storing the files in some location. Okay? The size of the file storage is 1 GB. Just imagine. So now your program is perfectly fine. Tomorrow, after 10 days, that drive get full. Your code will try to save the file in that storage. What will happen? There is no memory. There is no memory. Then what will happen? Is it fault of your program? No. That is system problem. That is called error. In the same way, just think there are you this is called system error, right? No. What is error then? Errors occurs. Errors errors occurs due to lack of system resource. Hope you are good. Okay. Out of memory error, right? So this is called errors. Somebody will ask you what is the difference between error and exception. You should be able. Exception is coming when there is some problem in our code. Error is coming when there is no problem in our code, but due to system resources. So this is called exception and error. How many types of exception now? Types of exception. Types of exception. How many types? The first is checked exception. Checked exception. And the second is unchecked exception. Unchecked exception. Unchecked exception. What is checked exception? Those checked and unchecked means who someone is checking. Someone is checking. Who is checking? Compiler is checking. When you are writing the code, at the same time, compiler is telling you to handle some exception. Those are called checked exception. And the exception which are not checked by compiler, those are called unchecked exception. Compiler even don't know that those exception is going to come, and those exception arrive at when you run the program. The simple definition of checked exception is what? Checked exception is compiler compiler is checking and suggesting, not suggesting, ID is suggesting, but compiler is checking. Okay, compiler is checking the exceptions are called checked exception. Unchecked means unchecked means not checked by compiler. Compiler. When it's come, this exception come at runtime. Unchecked exception comes in runtime. Runtime means whenever we are running the application, that time the exception is coming. Okay. Now we want to understand the hierarchy. Now try to observe hierarchy of the exception. Okay. Now we will try to understand who is the boss of every class. You know, right? Who is the boss of the every class? Object. Object is the boss of every class. Okay. Object is the boss. Now, who is the child here? Who is the child here? Instead of this, let me write like this. Object. Who is the parent of everyone? Then provable. Object. In which hierarchy I am telling you? Exceptions. Okay. Now, the next is exception, right? Exception. Now, what is this class, right? Exception. Then we see error. Come to compiler. How to check? Control Shift H. See exception, exception, exception. Go inside this. See this. It will come now. Exception. Exception dot class, right? What is this? Exception. Java.lang. Package is java.lang. The exception is class. What is extending, guys? Throwable. What is throwable? The throwable class is a super class of all error and exception in java.lang. Copy this, Control C, Control Shift H, enter. Throwable. Can I go inside this class? Throwable. Go in the top. What is the class name? Class name is throwable, right? Throwable is the super class of all error in java.lang package, right? So that is what I am trying to show you. So throwable is a child of object. Now error. What is this? Error is a class. Who is parent? Throwable, right? That is what my diagram is coming. You can think in that way, right? How to relate the thing. You can understand whatever I am showing, right? So these are the child, right? Who is the child? Exception is the class. Error is the class, right? Who is the parent? Object. Here, exception is child of throwable. This is the simple diagram, right? Now we are going to learn what exception, right? Now try to observe. So under exception also we have some classes now, right? We have to understand the types of exception. Now try to observe. What are the types of exception? Runtime exception. Runtime exception. Okay, runtime exception. Then we have IO exception. IO exception. The next is SQL exception. There are so many. If you understand one, then you can understand another also. SQL exception, right? These are the types of exception. So this will keep on under exception category, right? Okay. Now, under runtime exception, what are the possible cases? Under the runtime, you know, right? 10 divided by 0. We have observed this. Some arithmetic exception was coming, right? So what are the exception? One is arithmetic exception. Exception. Arithmetic exception come under 10 divided by 0. Compiler no, no. When run the program, then is exception is coming na. That is why runtime exception. Null pointer exception. Some value is coming in runtime null. That is why null pointer exception. Index out of bound exception. Index out of bound exception. These are frequently coming. That's why I am telling this name. Right? Index out of bound exception. When it come? When some memory got full. Like for example, we are having array. So that time what we are getting? Array, index, out of bound exception, right? In short, I am typing. String is there, right? String, index, out of bound exception, right? So all these are type of what? Runtime exception. Okay. Class cast exception. Class cast exception. Exception. Okay. Class cast exception. Okay. These are some example of what? These are some example of what? Runtime exception. These are some example of runtime exception. Okay. IO exception. What are some example? File not found. File not found. We are going to see this exception. Okay. Then interruption of exception. Interruption of exception. Right. These are the example of what? IO exception. When we see files, you will find these exceptions. Right. Similarly, there are some more exceptions, right? SQL exception. These are some way to understand the hierarchy, right? Now, if we see errors, right? So we can have errors like out of memory error, stack overflow, right? Virtual machine error, right? These are the example of what? Error. Virtual machine error. Then we have out of memory. Then we can say stack overflow. We have seen stack overflow yesterday, right? Nested call stack overflow. When we are running nested method, that time stack overflow came na. Remember, right? So these are errors because that is related to memory, right? That is related to memory. So these are the errors category, right? Hope you are good with this diagram. This is how the hierarchy you can understand. Okay. There is no big science. This is very easy topic. If you practice previous topic, then this is easy topic. Nothing is there. No need to remember this chart. When we are going, we keep on practicing, sometime null pointer will come, null pointer will come. When you are using array, practicing, sometime array out of bound index will come. No need to remember. When you are doing some mathematics calculation in your code, then arithmetic exception will come. When we are playing with file not found will come. So this kind of exception will come is practice. No need to buy heart. Only thing is that interview question, what is all throwable? Who is the parent of exception? What is different between exception and error? From this diagram, they can ask such question. What is exception? What is error? What is difference between these? Who is the parent of exception and error? We know, right? Object. Every time people are saying object. But who is the parent of exception and error? Exception and error both are class. And their parent is throwable. And throwable parent is object. If we are defining or not any parent, by define who is the object is the parent. If we are defining means we are, you know the parent. We have seen in Eclipse ID also. Till now you are good, right? Okay, I'm stopping my screen share, stopping the recording.